everyone. Today, I will talk to you about a wonderful opportunity for participants between the ages of 18 and 32 years old. This is a great experience for those who have a Jewish background, specifically either having one or both parents who are Jewish. Those interested that are 18 years old must also have graduated high school. Well, I'm here to tell you that the Birthright Israel Foundation gives people in that range a chance to take a free trip to Israel. Yes, you heard that right. A free trip to Israel for 10 whole days. This includes round-trip airfare, breakfast and dinner at the hotels you'll be staying at, and dinner and some nighttime entertainment. Young Jewish adults between the ages of 18 and 32 are given the opportunity of a lifetime by taking this trip. Now, I did mention that the trip is free. While this is true, some money is required for lunch every day and recreational spending. On this trip, young Jewish adults will be able to learn about their religious background and heritage by touring many historical sites, such as the Wailing Wall, the Dead Sea, and climbing the Masada, and much, much more. You will even have the opportunity to learn some Hebrew as well. On this trip, you will travel with about 30 different people from different parts of the country, and will have the opportunity to make some new friends as you will be spending 10 consecutive days with everyone. During the middle of the trip, you will be joined by a few Israeli soldiers and or students for a few days for you to be able to interact with locals your age and for them to get the same experience as you. I actually was fortunate enough to have gone on this trip this past summer, and I had a blast. The specific group I was part of was called Taglit. Taglit is the Hebrew word for discovery. During their trip, participants, most of whom are visiting Israel for the first time, are encouraged to discover new meaning in their personal Jewish identity and connection to Jewish history and culture. As a part of my trip, I was fortunate enough to participate in being bat mitzvahed right near the Wailing Wall, which was a very humbling experience for me, given that I had never had one. There were many adventures that I had experienced for the first time. On our first day after our flight, one of the activities we participated in was rafting in a river. That was a lot of fun. I also participated in climbing the Masada, which is an ancient fortress in southern Israel's Judean desert. This was a huge accomplishment for me because it was a physical and emotional strain. I even cried when I got to the top because I was so overwhelmed by walking roughly 700 steps to get to the highest point of the mountain to watch the sunrise. I can honestly say it was the most beautiful sight that I've ever seen. I loved getting the chance to float in the Dead Sea after hearing all of the healing benefits, especially after climbing the Masada, which coincidentally was on the same day. I even had what I consider my first camping trip because our group spent the night in a Bedouin tent. The most emotional part of the trip was when we visited a Holocaust museum. There, we saw pieces of garb that was given to the enslaved Jews to wear, along with pieces of Star of David-shaped fabric with Juden written on it to identify them as a Jew. And we even saw many other artifacts that were collected from some survivors and abandoned homes. After this trip, I can certainly say that I feel more connected positively, and I definitely feel more connected to my Jewish faith. So, what makes this a free trip and a nonprofit organization? Birthright Israel was founded in December of 1999 by a group of committed Jewish philanthropists. There are about 48,000 plus participants registered so far for this year. There have been about 650,000 participants since 1999. About 100,000 of those participants are the mentioned Israelis. 67 countries are represented. This trip is made possible thanks to the generous support of many sources from 30,000 plus donations each year. The sources that I have used for my presentation was birthrightisrael.com, birthrightisrael.foundation/mission, and a Birthright Israel wiki page. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I hope you will take a trip soon. Now, do I have any questions?
Were you nervous about anything that was going on in Israel at the time?
No, we actually had a security guard and a medic that was there to keep us safe the whole time.
You mentioned the recreation. What kind of fun things did you get to do at night?
Well, during our lunch times in the marketplaces that we went to in the different parts of Israel, we got to walk around, grab some lunch, and sightsee some of the other things that weren't so historical but were fun to look at. And we also had 2 night outs where we went to some bars and danced and drank and had some fun. Any other questions? Okay. Once again, thank you.